Hey guys, it's Angie, and before we get into the actual topic of this video, I did want to address a few things, so I will leave a timestamp right about here as to when the actual video starts, but I'm just going to touch on some things that are completely unrelated. First off, I know the background is different. I had to get a new blanket because I completely destroyed the white one, so now we have gray. And I know that it kind of washes me out and everything. This is temporary, it's not going to be like this forever, so please bear with me. In the new year, it will change, I promise. This is going to have to do for right now. Secondly, my hair. I did get a request to do like a red hair care video, but I'm still testing products before trying to make that video. I actually want to find things that work for me that I can recommend to you guys and everything in case you are trying to go with an unnatural hair color and everything. I don't want it to be like, this is what I'm using, and this, and this. And this, like, you know what I mean? I want it to be like, this is why I'm using this, and I'm using this one as well because of this. You know, stuff like that. I want it to be a well-rounded, well-balanced video. I don't want to just throw products in your face. Okay, to keep on the topic with the red, my lipstick is 1548 from jehbuu. It is in collaboration with the Taylor. If you don't know who she is, I will link her down below. She's amazing. I love her videos. And she does a lot of foundation and acne coverage videos, so if you're interested in that, that's a channel to look at. And last red thing to talk about is my nail polish. This is Brick Sidewalk from KL Polish by Kathleen Lights. If you don't know, she started her own nail polish company, but I just wanted to show you guys that this is what it looks like on my hands, and it is so pretty! So happy, so excited. Can't wait to see what both companies are gonna come out with next. So yeah, I think those are the main things that are not related to the whole subject of being a military brat and everything. Before I get into the details and all of that, I did want to mention that this is going to be more of an introductory slash overview type of video. I don't want to go like full on military brat life completely. Like, I wanted to do it in bits and pieces so this way the videos aren't too long and you guys actually kind of like them and can also help me pick topics on what to talk about and things. I do have some things that I do want to talk about that I want to get through, but if you do have any other suggestions, then you can leave them in the comments below or message me, whether it be on here or any of my other social media. I'll have them all linked down below and listed below for you guys to look that up as well. So in this video, I am going to be talking about what a military brat is, or at least what I think it is, some things that make us special, and a little background on myself and everything. So this way, when other videos come up in the future that have to do with being a military brat, this video can be a reference, and I won't have to explain it over and over and over and over and over again. So I hope that you guys like this idea. I hope that you guys enjoy, hopefully, what becomes a series on my channel and everything. And with that being said, we're just going to get started. So what is a military brat? In my opinion, your parent or your guardian is serving, and eventually you end up with your own dependent ID card. I know overseas there's a lot of contractors that take their families over there and they end up with the ID card. I guess you're kind of in the club, but yeah, I feel like if your parent is serving the United States Armed Forces, then you're a military brat. But yeah, that's just my opinion. That might not be the official definition, but that's the way I see it. You got the card, you're in the club. Now with that being said, not everybody's experience is the same. Even between myself, my two sisters, and my brother, we've all had different experiences as far as how the move was for each of us, how many schools we've gone to, what schools we've gone to, things like that. It's different between everybody. Not everybody goes to the same schools, not everybody goes to the same duty stations and stuff like that. Everybody's experience is different. So keep that in mind. There are kids that never leave the United States. Like, they'll go visit another country or whatever the case may be, but they don't live in another country. So that's where I feel like it gets weird and it gets different, because for me personally and my family, we've lived overseas. We've lived in different countries, or a different country actually, but you know, we've also lived in the States. And there are kids who have only lived in Europe in the States and stuff like that. So there's many different groups within the group, but just know that not everybody is the same as a brat. Now, with that being said, I feel like we are special. We are very, very special because not everybody gets the opportunities that we do to live in a foreign country or go to school in a foreign country, to be surrounded by a completely different culture other than American culture and things like that. We're special. We get to do that, and for the most part, it's not by choice. That sounds so bad, but it isn't. Sometimes it's not by choice, but overall, I feel like it is, or it can be, a very positive experience. It's all about how you look at it, and it's all on you and how you want to act about it. So that's why, for me personally, I don't understand when people are like, oh my god, military brat life, it's so unstable, blah 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 blah. It's only unstable if you make it unstable. That's the way I see it. I know a lot of responsibility lays on the parents, and I thank God that my mom and my dad did so well with us, because for the most part, life wasn't bad when we were moving. It's all on how you approach the experience. It can be unstable because sometimes you are moving very often, but other times it is what you make of it. It can be controlled chaos. I hope that makes sense, because yes, you are moving every 3 years or so, but you know you're moving every 3 years or so. Does that make sense? Another thing that I feel like makes us special, and it sounds really weird, is the question, where are you from, is one of the hardest questions to answer. It's not the same for all of us. Not all of us have a hard time answering that question, but I do feel like it can be interpreted many different ways, whether it be, where were you at last? What is your ethnic background? Where were you born? Where did you live longest? Like, it really depends on the person on how they want to answer it, but it is a very confusing question because, for the most part, what goes in my mind is, where did I leave? Or where was I last living? Like, I still want to say Okinawa, Japan. Like, that's where I'm from, because that's where I last lived before moving to the States, you know what I mean? It's not hard for everybody to answer, but sometimes you can get caught up when you're trying to answer that question. Now, I feel like one of the things that makes us special is our ability to adapt, especially from culture to culture, whether it be from East Coast to West Coast, or from America to a European culture, or an Asian culture, whatever your case may be. You learn to adapt to that culture, whether it be the mannerisms that you use, little gestures that you do, how you do things. One of the things that I don't think people stress enough is the fact that when you are in a foreign country, you're representing your country, and you don't want people to have a bad taste in their mouth, otherwise they'll kick you out of there. Another thing that I feel like people kind of overlook is the fact that we're raised to respect everybody. Being a military brat, because there's that military discipline all around you, you learn to respect everybody around you. Even start with the yes sir, yes ma'am, like, even that part of it, I feel like a lot of us do it because it's, again, one of those things that are second nature and that we're taught, and I'm very proud of that. I don't know if everybody is. I feel like that's a lost thing in our culture, and especially in millennials and everything. Everybody's like, oh, if they don't treat me with respect, I'm not gonna respect them, type of shit. Well, you have to give to receive, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like that's emphasized enough. Whether it be an elder or even somebody younger than you, like, you don't just, like, kick them to the ground. You learn to help people grow, and you help people in general. And the last thing that I feel like that makes us special, that I guess a lot of people don't really think about or talk about, is, like, the way we learn responsibility. And the main way that I can remember anyway, or at least that I feel is very important, is basically revolving around the military ID card. With that, you can basically do anything, kinda. I'll explain. So with the military ID, you can buy stuff at the 7-day store, go to the movies on base, the commissary, the exchange, you know, basically being like, I belong here. That's what your ID card means. And it also gives you lots of privileges. Like, of course, in the States, you get military discount and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But also, if you don't have your ID, you can't get back on base if you're supposed to be on base, or get on base in general. I remember seeing it as a kid, is that without my ID, I couldn't do anything. I feel like it's similar to, like, a driver's license. Like, you don't go driving without your driver's license. That's illegal. Don't do that. But the difference is with a military ID, you're given that at 9 or 10 years old, and you learn to guard it with your life. And it's pretty much the same thing with your driver's license, because at 16 all you want to do is drive and stuff, so you guard it with your life. But yeah, you learn to be responsible for your ID card because it's your ticket to do anything. So those are all things that I find to be special about being a military brat. And now that we have that out of the way, I guess I will do like a kind of like a brief overview and, you know, let you guys get to know Angie the military brat. I hope this isn't like too quirky or anything weird. So, for Angie as a military brat, I am specifically a Marine Corps brat. My dad was in the Marine Corps for 27 years, and if it wasn't for the Marine Corps, my parents would have never met. My dad got stationed to where my mom lived and everything like that. They met, and they've been married for almost 26 years. I just turned 25, so yeah, if it wasn't for the Marine Corps, I wouldn't be here. With that being said, I've lived at 8 different duty stations in my life, and I have lived in I think at least 16 different like houses or housing situations, and I went to 5 schools. For my brother and sisters, they've been to more schools than I have. One of my sisters has been to I think at least 8 or 9. So that's what I mean by not everybody's experiences are the same. As far as the duty stations go, it was North Carolina, Virginia Beach, California, Iwakuni, Japan, Hawaii, Okinawa, Japan, and 2 separate duty stations here in the DMV. So one is with my parents and one is with my husband. So yeah, those are the 8 different duty stations. When I lived in Hawaii, I lived in 2 different houses. Okinawa, I lived in 3 different houses. And I have lived in 3 different houses in the DMV area. So yeah, those are the majority of my moving around in all the different houses that I lived in, as far as I can recall. As I mentioned, I lived in Japan in 2 different places. It was a total of 7 years. I feel like Japan is the place that I call home. And if you follow me on Snapchat and everything, you know that my family's over there right now, so I get care packages from them all the time. And it is awesome. I loved growing up as a brat. I don't think that there's any negative of being a military brat. There's a lot of people who do, but I feel like that's the first thing that I get to bond with a lot of people over, is the fact that we're brats. If it wasn't for this lifestyle, I would have never met Victoria. I would have never met my husband. A lot of my friends, I would have never gotten into anything culturally that I'm into. I hope that makes sense. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that I got to grow up the way that I did, and I hope that other people who are military brats, whether they be kids or parents or teenagers or whoever you may be, if you are in the lifestyle, that you enjoy it and make the most of it. It is great. There's so many things that are great about it, and I don't know where to start to explain, but hopefully I can get to it in a future video and everything. I am planning on talking about like what it was like for me as a child in elementary school, middle school, in high school, talk about moving and stuff like that. But if there's any other topics that you want me to talk about, just again leave them down below for me in the comment section. I would love to read what you guys have to say and do the videos you guys want me to do, including beauty related videos, of course, and everything. Yeah, I'm all about it. Let me know down below. So that'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you like this, and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Yay!